cheer. Oh, okay, okay. Wow. Hmm. Is it or is it not? To believe it, not to believe it. I don't know. I don't know. What's that? Wow. Man, my testosterone must be like at least 100 and something, 100. Like, anyways, how you doing? How you feel? It's really hot in South Africa right now. Uh, I'm struggling to get some, at least some ish. Wow. Anyways. Picking up the economies of Russia um the South African economy is the South African economy is good, but it is in a rather very awkward position, considering that it's the South African economy. And as for the Russian economy, well, it's, it's in a rather very questionable position, you know, as compared to that of South Africa. But South Africa still is not much of an exception because the leadership is just horrible. Everything that's happening in South Africa is just outright horrible and deplorable. And leadership in South Africa is the behavior that goes with it, very questionable. Uh, yeah, and is doing off that we were in the apartheid affordable, things were very much easier, considering the sudden fall from grace, economic grace, I guess. And but my 2000 and 2000s, because my era is like, don't want to lie, was born 98. But my 2000s, not only just, but you were able to get by easily. Jigsaw, how are you doing, Jigsaw? Um, you were able to get by easily. You know what I'm saying? But all of that slowly but surely dwindled into nothing. And I guess that the economic fall from grace in South Africa is not entirely based on the leadership of the country, but on changing, ever changing events. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to how you doing, Shante? Shante Van Vuren. How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling? Jigsaw, if you're there, how you doing? How you feeling? Right? So I'm Miss Crusher Rex Revenator after Mother Haters, rapper, songwriter, and creator, one of the best rappers of his time. And the slogan goes to the naysayers, I really lose nothing. Come to South Africa on my low quality phone, whatever. And I'm talking about, well, my country, South Africa, with its economic fall from grace, I guess, or its fall from economic grace. You know? You know? You know? My country, South Africa, is fall from economic grace. It's really abhorrent. It's really embarrassing. Right? It's abhorrent. It's embarrassing. At the same time, I guess it was worth it for South Africa to fall from economic grace. But it's utterly embarrassing. Just saying. Okay. 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 South Africa's economic fall from grace is partially not only a matter of failure by the leadership of the current day or the democratic leadership entirely, but it is also due to shifting launches, I guess, right? Because South Africa is an open economy. Last time I checked, so there are changes in when it comes to the world stage that don't only just affect South Africa but also affect other nations. So, uh, but overall, the economic well-being of a country is also based upon the sort of economic model that that country has, taking the forefront. Um, in the case of the United States, based economy, while I believe South Africa is a more product based economy. So the reason why America or the American economy strives. Not only just to say that what makes the economy of the state, services are considered more in the States. Services are considered more in the United States of America. That's why America is such a thriving economy. Because services are like the number one sort of thing that is always sought after by the general populace. So, yeah, services, maybe things like, I guess, cutting grass or maintaining houses or something. I don't know, bro. But along the lines of just services, like teachers, even services, being of service. Apparently, being of service yields a higher economy or affords higher ranks of a well furnished economy, of a refined economy. So, yeah, man, it's very interesting to know such things and to be aware of such things. As a South African, as a person who's on earth, as a person who dwells on earth, as a person who lives on earth, as a person who seeks refuge on earth. Because as I know, I'll get to know about this, it also prompts certain changes for myself to change certain things. I'm in South Africa, economically, not even sound countries in the world. But I just have to adapt, I guess. Instead of being a person who is doing wrong, you see, South Africa is just, and it's then again, it's not entirely the fault of South Africa. That South Africa is so economically unsound. It's not entirely the fault of South Africa. It's not entirely the fault of South Africa. You know, certain events that occur in other countries, South Africa, the economic well standing of South Africa is affected. South Africa is indeed a sovereign country. South Africa has white, Spanish, French, even. South Africa has every kind of citizen that you could think of, every type of race you could think of. Indian, you know what I mean? Not only just Afrikaner, but like South Africa has like a whole bunch of races. And they played a very significant role. These Chinese, Indian, they aided, they helped, they played a very significant role and invested certain monies and whatever. It's I don't be a secret anymore. These are the nations: French, the Portuguese, even Greek people have invested something in South Africa. So some mentalities are just old as hell, dog. Some mentalities are just old as fuck, and people should just stop thinking the way that they thinking. You know, in terms of South Africa and how they view South Africa and stuff like that. South Africa has been going through unfortunate things, and it's entirely not the fault of South Africa for it to actually for the whole governance of South Africa to be so dismantled in such a way that it's not entirely the fault of South Africa, due to the fact that other countries that have dealings with South Africa, those contracts or whatever, or those agreements that are not to be breached, there comes a time when now a country probably goes into civil unrest, or a whole lot of things unravel in a country, in a sovereign democratic country. But and on the other hand, I just have to like remember, because I feel like a whole other South Africans are pissed off and stuff like that without actually considering other factors that actually sort of played a role in the economic of South Africa and its facilities and the efficiency and the efficacy and the viability, the economic viability, all of this, the collapse. It's not just entirely bad leadership. You have to consider that there is the global stage, there's the African stage. So on such basis, South Africa's economy finds itself in a strangle, in a vice grip. Yeah, I do admit all of those other traveling monies that are not. Yeah, I do admit certain world decisions, certain world decisions we are not in control of are indeed responsible, and they do indeed, you know, put down the final hammer. They're the ones who put down the final hammer. So, uh, that's how South Africa finds itself economically stripped of certain privileges years later. Not because, well, the apartheid government is partially the reason why, I guess, the economic collapse of South Africa unraveled the way that it ended up unraveling the way it did, I guess, because privileges. To think that's what I'd want to believe, because the Boers are European, the Boers are Dutch, the Boers are from ultimately a country. I'd want to think, because I don't think that $1 is more in Netherlands. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but even if that's the case, I wouldn't want to think that Netherlands. But I don't think that the currency in the Netherlands is dipping, like the currency of South Africa, or in retrospect, the economy of South Africa, the way in which it's collapsing. I don't think that the one in Netherlands is as bad as the one in South Africa. The level of collapse, I don't think that it's as bad. First of all, Young. So yeah, that's what I think, bro. That's what I think. The economic collapse of South Africa is a result of other countries that are infatuated with maintaining ambition than keeping in mind or bearing in mind the consequence of, without bearing in mind the consequence of, being abusive. Adults, you are abusive. In this case, were, but just talking in an instance of trying to reiterate it, I guess, as it may have happened in the past. In a manner of like now, you are abusive, and you take things by force. No, Danji, you are a callous person. You wouldn't mind things in order to some sort of premeditated vendettas. You know, like type shit. You feel me? Like part of why South Africa's economic collapse. It's not entirely because um the powers were transferred entirely, but it's because there were people who low-key endorsed apartheid, like low endorsed it to such a point where these people, some of them, they low endorsed apartheid. That's how I feel. You understand? Which is what prompted most of them to leave. They left, but still they had to buy up unnecessary patches of land. And not only just that, they had to make sure that those patches of land have title deeds to them, title deeds that won't ever be defied, like ever be defied ever, even if those people were to pass, because that's just how it is, bro. Some people were vying for apartheid. The white people, they were vying for apartheid, and I think that's what President Donald Trump doesn't want to understand. Maybe he doesn't want to understand it. Maybe he wants to just be passive about it. But there are white people who are even now in South Africa low-key vying for apartheid surfacing. And I bet that Donald Trump doesn't even know that. And like, he has a tendency of putting us in a very awkward position as South Africa. Very, very a tendency that's noticeable. But at the same time, I feel like my leaders in South Africa are just they get too overexcited. Yeah, my fellow leaders in South Africa have to remember, that war, they have to remember that war is not entirely verbal and physical, it's mental. That's what my fellow South African leaders are forgetting. War is not blabber. That's not war, bro. That's not war. That's not war, bro. That's not the real true essence of war. The true essence of war is this. Before it even translates to anything physical or anything that is to be, enacted. War is this. War. This is war. And my fellow leaders in South Africa, they are outdated. They are outdated. Some of them are not even qualified to be in the ministerial positions that they're in. Yeah, a whole lot of awkward shit, but that's just how I feel about it. And our South African leaders want to drag us into things that me and NJ, I don't want to pretend like I'm above what the American military can cater to, or I don't even want to pretend like when I know that yeah, South Africa has Arsenal, but you know what I mean. Like at the same time, it's like, what are they really doing, bro? What are they really attempting? What are they even attempting? Well, because they dog, the United States of America is gonna squash us for real. You know, in terms of like how far ahead it is with these technological advancements and stuff like that. Like I swear, bro. Even Palestine knows, bro, deep down inside. Even Palestine knows deep down inside that. Ish, hey, yes. Mm. Yeah, I've been seeing some drills, yeah, South African Defense Force, drills, nyana, whatever, blah, blah. Okay, I really don't believe that our soldiers in South Africa have what it takes to get it done. To get the job done. Maybe utilizing firepower, nah. Bhaca ngetimoto nematruck nananana yabo masoja se-South Africa yabo mara combat ah I'm not talking about into le manje batfunza fethu. Let's not lie to ourselves. Very questionable men in South Africa of questionable body stature are commanders and high ranking people. First of all, it's like, dude, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Joking. Don't be joking, dog. Like, what is South Africa really gonna do to the United States for real? I'm I'm aware of the recurrent push for an economy in the United States that is so sufficient. That is so you know um, validated and so valuable in such a way that it is the main economy of that country. Not to say the main economy of that country, but because I have a feeling that the presidency or the governance in the United States is way smarter and way more strategic when it comes to what it really takes to build a country that is going to be in the near future, catering towards the greater goals that men that right there is bigger. It's bigger than any Pan Africanism thing, dog. Like dog, like stop trying to like stoop up to the US. That dog. Stop that. Instead, we should be focusing on our own shit in Africa. We should be focusing on us in Africa. We should be focusing on how we could build in Africa, how we could make ourselves better people with bodies that can actually perform, with bodies that can actually get the job done. That's my wish. That's my wish. We shouldn't be in the position to want to start fights with the United States. No. The truth is, the truth on the table, yeah, Africa has all of these resources, and all of these resources, semiconducting metals, whatever the case is. But what are we doing with that? What programs do we have in Africa that are, even if they're there, the programs, are they really enough, the programs, dog? Are we ramping it up in Africa or are we still bluffing about who we are as Africa? That's my question. You want to talk about the United States colonizing us, suppressing us? Nah, bro. How long are we gonna be the victim? That's my question. How long are we gonna be the fucking victim? Instead of actually getting the fuck up and making the necessary studies and getting on the line with necessary people in necessary places and getting and deriving all forms of knowledge that are necessary. Why instead don't we focus on that? That's my question. Instead of talking, instead of having this sour talk, because always have sour talk. We Africans, we always have sour talk. Yeah. The United States, hey, blah blah blah. Come on, man, shut up, man. Instead of being concerned about babies and making babies and sleeping with a bunch of women, why aren't you concerning yourself with actual tangible ideas? Why are you not working on anything? In fact, you don't even have to be in the military, dog. You don't have to be fighting anything physically. You don't understand? You could literally be doing this. You don't understand? That's what I'm trying to say. You could be doing anything. In fact, you could be. Fit, you could be a calligrapher. You could be a person that makes wire cars, nigga, as a way of displaying art, nigga, in relevance to what is happening in the current day. You could also be in the in a part of the fight in your own unique way, Fit. You, whatever it is that you do, not you understand. You should just go at it, Fit. I'm telling you. Because you're the only one who can change the world now. You're the only one who can change the world for the better. Faith going forward. Instead of always looking at America, we have to like be mad at America. We mustn't be mad at America. Matter of fact, if we have to be mad at America, that just says a whole lot of things about us as as the normal citizens of South Africa. It doesn't say anything about the states. The states, Bobby, is making $1 trillion deals, Bobby. Every 3 hours to 2 hours, the states has its stock market up and afloat and balanced. There's no sudden fluctuation. There's no overwhelming what curve. No, Baba. Let's not lie to ourselves. We as South African, we like to cope. We mustn't cope. One thing is for sure. I'm not saying all of this because I wanna shine or because I'm throwing blows or throwing shots. I'm saying all of this because even me myself, I have to wake the fuck up, and start realizing that in this country that I'm in, South Africa, it's a matter of me adapting. If I don't adapt, I perish. If you're from South Africa and if you don't adapt, you perish. End of story. That's just what it is. And I'm not even catching any feelings on top of that, bro. I'm not, dog. In my head, I'm like, I have to adapt. I gotta adapt. Because if I don't adapt, what else am I gonna do, dog? Am I supposed to go around having coital relations with every woman because I'm fucking sad, because I'm depressed? Because that's probably gonna end up with a child, baby that I didn't even want. Not even a child or a baby that I didn't want, but a child and a baby who's gonna be used up and exploited because of the notion of being a child and of being a baby. What then? What then? Am I gonna? Do I really have to go through that? Do I really have to go through giving birth to some child that's gonna go through a situation where now my family is struggling and pulling up against the poor thing, and then the girl's family is pulling up against the poor thing? What am I gonna do, dog? What am I supposed to be doing within that time? And listen, it doesn't even fucking matter if you make a whole lot of money, dog. One thing is for sure, if you bring a kid into this world for a kid to experience things like the segregation, yeah, and the separatism, what, bro, you are a damn fucked up individual, dog. I know that I'm getting too personal, but if you bring a child into the world, and you bring a child into a world whereby now the child has to be used up, as a form of stepping stone, because you yourself, you are lazy to create your own steps and keep on climbing by yourself towards where you want to, or towards where you wish to see yourself getting to. You want to use a child, you want to use a baby. I mean, I'm 28 years old, I'm single, and I probably am not gonna have no fucking girl. It's not a means of bragging or whatever. And me saying this, I'm not an incel. You know why I say I'm not an incel? Because I was raised by my mother. I talk to my mother almost every time. My advices are very smart women, very strong women, strong-willed women. That's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to strong-willed women, women that have strong wills. I'm not attracted to all of these past bias. Are you kidding me, dog? Am I really supposed to be in that position? I'm 28 years old. Okay, so what of it? What of it? I'm a man. I'm a grown ass man. I probably don't own nothing. I probably have a scruffy ass beard. I probably have a mustache that is very, very thick now. It's even bothering me. But on the other hand, I'm just thinking about the integrity of my offspring, you see. But the integrity of my offspring is the integrity of my offspring. When I get to prove the validity of my offspring, when I get to prove the validity of the integrity of my offspring, doesn't even have to be determined by me, but only the actions that are going to get me to where I'm really supposed to get in terms of enriching my offspring, growing my offspring, making sure that my offspring is a bit better than I was in many fields of life, in many faculties of life. Listen, I'm not trying to live life because I'm gonna be passive. I'm not trying to live life because I'm nervous. I'm not trying to live life because I'm always recurrently trying to assimilate. I'm living life because I'm always trying to learn something different from people. I'm trying to learn something different from situations. But at the same time, I'm also in the position to be aware of where I'm at a certain place in time, who I'm with, who I'm talking to, what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? What we're really doing in terms of like what I want to do next week, in terms of the money that I want to make next week. You feel what the fuck I'm saying? So that's why I say I'm not attracted to any sort of skirt, any sort of woman, and I don't really give a fuck about my phone being low quality because I gotta do this shit. I gotta do my shit. And even if it's two likes at a time, 3 likes at a time, nigga, that ain't bother me. I come up, do streams, it's just 0 likes at a time. But shout out to the people that give me them likes. You understand? Cause I'm Yeah, never mind, bro. Never mind. It's all that. It's whatever it is. I'ma see you when I see y'all.